Now, I think it's pretty safe to say that the future of the Star Wars universe seems to be quite expansive, not just with their new and upcoming books, novels, comics, and video games, but also, let's not forget about their new Star Wars TV shows and movies that are currently in active development, as well as other aspects of Star Wars lore that is now being handled by Jon and Dave Filoni. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel for future Star Wars updates. Also, by the way guys, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support. It is greatly appreciated. Now, one thing about the new universe is that Jon and Dave are actively creating multiple big revelations, not just for Grogu, but also for one of the Skywalkers that will have a big twist and or turn in the upcoming Star Wars shows like Mando 4, and even a planned Ahsoka Tano series Season 2. Now, with that being said, there's a lot of things coming into this, is that a lot of fans have always been wondering about Grogu's true identity. This is by something that Jon and Dave have confirmed that they are indeed working on, and they've been throwing us a little couple of hints here and there, a couple of teases over the past couple of weeks, to really kind of get a bit of an idea of what kind of direction they are going in. But just recently, Lucasfilm, Jon, Dave in general, have actually debunked and teased some new things about Grogu's true identity in the upcoming Star Wars canon and lore. Now, that brings us to the next scenario. Given that Grogu is planned to be a very big influence on the upcoming Star Wars lore, they are also trying their absolute best to use him as a vessel to really create big revelations in the Skywalker saga across multiple eras of the franchise. Now, of course, given that both Disney and Lucasfilm are getting ready to make some big announcements for the fans next year, it's noted that Lucasfilm has an in-depth plan to do something for the fandom. In a recent interview with both FAVREAU and FILONI, when they were recently questioned about Grogu's true identity, both Jon and Dave went on to tease and tell the fans the following. Jon went on to say, well, one thing I can say about his actual identity is that it's not going to be as easily guessable as, of course, by nearly anyone. I can assure you that. We are not going to make it as simple as Grogu is Yaddle's son, or Grogu is a clone of Yoda, which is something I have seen from the fans over the past couple of months. And I just want to put it out there that it is a whole lot more in-depth and involved than that. And Grogu's true identity that we are crafting, as I said before, will truly rattle the Star Wars fandom and break the internet. What we are doing is going to be very innovative, that myself and George agreed will be talked about for decades. It's going to have the biggest impact on the Skywalker saga since a long time ago. Now let me just pause here quickly before Dave Filoni chimes in. And this is where Dave Filoni really gives us the biggest hint of all time related to who Grogu really is, Grogu's real name, etc. Which, by the way, is something that they are currently working on for the actual character. Now, Grogu, alright, is something that is an ever-evolving character, right? A lot of fans are wondering about things like his first words, who he really is, his true identity, his birthplace, all these different things are going to be addressed in Mando Season 4 for 2024, as long as they don't run into delays. If they do, it's looking likely that Mando 4 could easily debut in early 2025, but we'll have to wait and see. Now, everything related to Grogu's true identity, Jon Favreau puts it out there very clearly that it is not going to be as simple as Grogu is Yaddle's son, or Grogu is a clone of Yoda. And I kind of find it very interesting in that Jon was very direct about that, and kind of shooting down some of these guesses by fans of who Grogu really is. And I kind of like that he's doing that, because he's making it very much assured that Grogu's true identity is going to be more than something that we are just guessing or kind of theorizing, right? Jon and Dave have said this before in the past, that it is something that is practically unguessable when it comes to the Star Wars universe. And it makes you wonder, is it really all that unguessable when it comes to Grogu's true identity? We'll have to wait and see. But here's where Dave Filoni gives us the biggest hint of all time when it comes to Grogu's true identity. He goes on to say, Dave Filoni, of course, then began to state the following. Yeah, so as John said, we have been focusing on this for the past, year and a half now? And one big hint I can give and throw at the fans to keep them wondering is that Grogu's identity will involve something heavy to do with the cosmic force. I know I am being vague here, but believe me, that's probably the biggest hint we have given yet for the community so far. So I agree with John. It was never intended to be as easy as Grogu is Yaddle's son, or Grogu is a clone of Yoda. His identity will reshape a big character for sure, but it's going to really involve the cosmic force. Now, here's where things get very difficult, alright? Now, Dave Filoni seemingly confirming here that Grogu's identity will be connected to a big character and the cosmic force. I have seen people kind of guesstimating that the whole scenario is that Grogu is indeed Yoda himself, taken through the world between worlds at a different era in Star Wars universe. I would not throw that out the window. That seems like a big possibility, and that's something a couple of fans have been putting out there. Is it a little too outlandish? Maybe, maybe not. It all depends on execution, right? So, who knows exactly what this really means, but Dave Filoni putting it out there clear as day that Grogu's identity will, number one, be connected to the cosmic force, and number two, connected to a big name character. And that is something that I think is going to leave fans talking about for the next couple of years until we get Mando Season 4. So Grogu's identity, it kind of brings you back, right, to when the sequel trilogy came out, where a lot of things were being worked on back and forth for Rey's identity, Snoke's identity, etc. Those are the two big ones, right? And JJ and Ryan had no idea what to do. They never really had a thorough plan. Here, John and Dave have an actual in-depth plan all settled on who Grogu really is in the Star Wars universe, and that is something that I do respect, because they know who he is right from the get-go. They have a plan. They have everything mapped out for Mando 4 and beyond. John has said that if Mando 4 proves to be successful, he would like to end things when it comes to Mando Season 6. And honestly, that's a perfect number, I think, to end things at. You know, Season 4 may come across as a little too early, but Mando 6, I could see that as being the last season, for sure. Absolutely. That would mark things ending around the very end of 2026 into early 27. So, that's perfect. So anyways, you know, on top of this, John and Dave, just Lucasfilm in general, are working on Grogu's identity and really making it clear that it's not going to be something as simple as he said. It's not Yaddle's son, it's not a clone of Yoda, but it's something so more in-depth, something so original that it's really going to rattle the fandom. And it's going to be talked about for years. And John and Dave even said this a couple of days ago, that they spoke with George and they all agree that it has the potential of being bigger than the I am your father moment. We shall see. So anyways, guys, you know, drop a comment below. Let me know what you guys have to say about this below in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
Night to moon, we hear them moans again.